The story of David and Goliath is a classic biblical narrative found in the first book of Samuel in the Hebrew Bible. It tells of a young shepherd named David who defeats Goliath, a giant Philistine warrior with nothing but a sling and a stone. This tale is often cited to illustrate the triumph of the underdog, highlighting themes of courage, faith, and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. The David and Goliath story serves as an important allegory, symbolizing how the seemingly weak can overcome the seemingly strong through inner strength and strategic thinking. The narrative's significance lies in its universal message: small forces can achieve monumental victories. This story resonates across cultures and eras, serving as a metaphor for overcoming adversity. In a business context, startups challenging established corporations are likened to David's battle against Goliath, emphasizing innovation over sheer size. Similarly, social movements fighting for change amidst powerful opposition embody the essence of this biblical story, reminding us that dedication and belief in a cause can lead to monumental shifts. Several experts assert that the tale embodies enduring truths relevant in today's world. Malcolm Gladwell, in his book David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and The Art of Battling Giants, argues that what we perceive as disadvantages might actually be advantages, disrupting conventional wisdom about strengths and weaknesses. He suggests that adversity can foster creativity and resilience, two critical components for success. However, the story is not without its challenges and controversies. Skeptics question its literal accuracy, viewing it instead as mythological rather than historical. Critics also argue that the narrative oversimplifies complex battles between unequal forces, neglecting factors like strategy, environment, and morale. Additionally, there's an ongoing debate about the potential glorification of violence in the story, and how this aspect is reconciled with its moral lessons. Despite these challenges, the story's influence is pervasive, informing literature, art, and leadership paradigms. It connects to broader aspects of the main topic, such as the human capacity for faith and innovation. This biblical tale isn't just a historical or religious artifact. It continues to inspire by reminding us that courage and intelligence often trump size and brute strength. In a world often divided by power imbalances, the story of David and Goliath invites us to reconsider what true strength means and how it can be harnessed to bring about change. The historical and cultural context surrounding the biblical story of David and Goliath is crucial for understanding the narrative's depth and its influence on both ancient and modern perspectives. This story, found in the first book of Samuel, is set during a period when the Israelites were frequently at odds with neighboring Philistine forces, a powerful sea people who occupied parts of Canaan. The biblical tale captures a quintessential moment within this prolonged conflict, illustrating the stark contrast in power dynamics between the technologically advanced Philistines and the comparatively vulnerable Israelites. Significantly, this narrative serves as an allegory of faith and divine intervention, pivotal themes within the broader biblical text. It underscores the belief that God favors the underdog, a young shepherd boy, David, with only a sling in hand against the formidable Goliath, a Philistine giant clad in armor. This story not merely depicts a historical skirmish, but an enduring testament to the triumph of faith and cunning over brute strength. Important themes reverberating in religious teachings and moral storytelling throughout generations. In contemporary settings, the David and Goliath narrative frequently surfaces in discussions of improbable victories in sports, business, or politics. For example, the 1980 Miracle on Ice, where the underdog U.S. hockey team defeated the heavily favored Soviet team, often evokes this biblical analogy. Similarly, in business, a small startup disrupting a vast tech conglomerate recalls David's unlikely victory over Goliath, as seen with Netflix's challenging Blockbuster. While many celebrate the moral and inspirational aspects of the story, some critics question its historical authenticity. Skeptics of biblical literalism argue that such stories are mythological, possibly derived from ancient folklore, rather than factual recounting. Moreover, there are debates about the portrayal of violence and the implications of deifying David's act of killing, irrespective of its metaphorical interpretations. The story's enduring influence underscores its connection to various facets of cultural and religious teachings, highlighting virtues like courage, resilience, and faith. These themes permeate countless narratives across different cultures, where the victory of the underdog continues to resonate. However, the story's interpretation and application can also spur dialogue on the ethics of conflict, the role of divine justice, and human resilience, reflecting diverse and sometimes contentious viewpoints. Through these layers, the historical and cultural context of David and Goliath continues to provide a powerful lens for examining human nature and societal values. The characters of David and Goliath are central to the biblical story that bears their names, serving as archetypes for the themes of courage, faith, and the triumph of the underdog. David, a young shepherd armed only with a sling and his faith in God, confronts Goliath, a fearsome Philistine giant and seasoned warrior. This encounter is more than a simple battle. It symbolizes the power of belief and ingenuity against imposing odds. In the context of the broader narrative, David represents the unlikely hero who rises to prominence through his trust in divine intervention, while Goliath embodies seemingly insurmountable challenges. The significance of their encounter transcends the story itself, offering lessons about resilience, faith, and ingenuity that resonate throughout various aspects of life. Real-world applications of this narrative are abundant. In business, startups often see themselves as David, challenging established industry giants. For example, Netflix once challenged Blockbuster's dominance in the video rental market, using innovation and foresight, traits attributed to David rather than brute strength. In sports, we often witness underdog teams triumphing against all odds, capturing the essence of David's victory over Goliath and inspiring fans and players alike. Supporters of this perspective argue that the story highlights the importance of faith and strategy over sheer power. They emphasize the value of thinking outside the box and the role of inner strength and conviction in overcoming adversity. However, this story is not without its challenges and controversies. Some critics suggest that the narrative oversimplifies complex socioeconomic factors by attributing success solely to individual courage and faith. Furthermore, the notion that faith can lead to victory may not resonate with secular perspectives or in situations where systemic issues play a more critical role. This tale's themes influence other aspects of the biblical narrative by underscoring the importance of divine favor and human agency. David's victory sets the stage for his future as a king, illustrating how qualities such as wisdom, bravery, and faith, which he demonstrated in his battle against Goliath, are crucial for leadership. The story of David and Goliath continues to inspire and provoke thought, serving as a reminder of the potential impacts of courage and conviction against formidable challenges. Through its timeless message, the story encourages us to confront our own giants, armed with faith and strategic thinking. In the biblical narrative of David and Goliath, the battle and its significance refers to more than just the physical confrontation between two individuals. It's a profound symbol of overcoming insurmountable odds through faith, strategy, and courage. The story, recounted in 1 Samuel 17, depicts young David, a shepherd with no battle experience, triumphing over Goliath, a giant warrior, by using a sling and a stone. This battle holds immense significance as it illustrates the theme of the underdog prevailing against the formidable, often interpreted as a metaphor for divine intervention and the power of faith. It underscores the idea that true strength lies not in physical prowess, but in courage and belief in a higher cause. The significance of this story extends beyond its biblical context, influencing both cultural and sociological paradigms. In modern scenarios, this narrative is frequently referenced in situations where smaller, seemingly weaker entities face much larger opponents. For instance, in sports, when an underdog team beats a favored opponent, commentators often describe it as a David versus Goliath moment. In the business world, startups challenging large, established corporations represents another real-world application of this concept. Companies like Netflix and Airbnb initially faced seemingly insurmountable competition from larger corporations, yet succeeded by identifying unique market opportunities and leveraging innovation as David used his sling. Opinions supporting this idea highlight the empowering nature of the narrative, suggesting that it inspires individuals and groups to pursue their goals against tough odds. However, the concept is not without its challenges. Critics argue that the story can be overly simplified when applied to complex modern problems, sometimes glossing over the strategic decisions and skills that contribute to an underdog's success. Additionally, the metaphor could be seen as encouraging risky behaviors under the guise of faith or idealism without considering practical realities. The battle and its significance connects to broader themes such as faith, strategy, courage, and humility. These elements are interwoven throughout the story, demonstrating how each plays a crucial role in achieving victory. Moreover, the narrative continues to influence other aspects of the main topic by serving as a foundational example of the themes of justice and righteousness prevailing over brute force and intimidation. As a timeless tale, it calls for introspection about the source of true strength and the power of believing in causes greater than oneself, resonating deeply across cultures and generations.